Hey guys, what's going on? Tom McNulty here, and in this tutorial you're going to learn how to set up your very first blog. I'm going to give you step-by-step instructions on how to set up a blog, and we're going to go through the purchase of the domain. We're going to go ahead and get the hosting, and we're going to set up everything you need to customize it and make it look really good. So that way, out of the gate, you have a professional setup, so when people come to your website, they will take you seriously. Secondly, we're going to go through how to start building a loyal following. This is one of those things that a lot of people just don't cover. But you actually really, before you really get into blogging your heart out, you really need to research your audience. You need to figure out the topics that they're having trouble with and the kind of information that they're seeking out. And you want to really put an effort into creating the content that's going to help people resonate with you. They're going to come back often and read your blog on a regular basis. They're going to look to you and your blog for the info that they need. And finally, we're going to go over how to monetize your blog. It makes it a lot more fun creating blog posts and creating content for your audience when you're actually making money doing it. You don't have to do it in an all hypey way. You don't even have to pursue internet marketing niche if you don't want. There's plenty of other things out there like quilting or whatever, that are other hobbies that people have. But whatever niche that you want to go after, I'm going to show you how to actually go out there and do research so that way you can get the content in front of people that they want, and then you can actually follow up by actually making money from your passion. So now we're actually going to go through everything you need to know to set up your blog. Alright guys, so now we're going to get ready to continue our next tutorial. Let's go ahead and continue on. So basically, the first step to our process is getting our website online and getting a web host. Now, a web host is basically where all of your files are stored. It's where you upload your website. It's where you upload all your images. And that's how everything shows up online. Now, I've used a few different web hosts. Bluehost has been the most reliable one for me. Now, the one reason I'm recommending it for you is because you want a web host that you can grow with. So as you're building your website, as you're building your brand, and as you get more and more traffic, you're going to need to get a web hosting package that can handle the traffic. The next thing with Bluehost is when you get to the point where you can simply upgrade to handle the traffic, by that point, you should easily be making the money. And it's a very, very small investment, and you're still way in profit. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click this link on the Bluehost page, and it's going to bring you here. And basically, it's going to cost you around $4.95 a month. Sometimes they run specials. Sometimes it's $3.95. Sometimes it's $5.95. And you don't need any of the advanced packages. The $4.95 or $3.95 package is really all you need. And then so you're just going to select that, and then you need a domain name. So I already have a domain, but I'm going to put one in here for example's sake. So my domain is former Cubicle worker, but I'm going to just do Cubicle blog just for example purposes. The .com's already there. And as you can see, that's not available, so I'm just going to choose another one just for example's sake. We'll just go with newcubicleblog.com. Select that and wait for a moment. And this is where you just fill out all your basic information. And this is how you establish your account with Bluehost. And one reason I really like Bluehost compared to, say, another web host provider is with the other providers, you're actually going to need to buy a domain name from a separate place, like GoDaddy or Namecheap, compared to Bluehost, where you can, buy everything at the same time. So I'm just going to use that random name, like I said. And so we're going to fill in that information. And just as a side note, it doesn't really make any difference if you use a .net or a .com. They're both going to get you it's not going to affect your traffic or anything one way or another. And we're going to go into the account plan that you want, the package information. I wouldn't go with anything more than $4.95, $5.95 a month for this either. The more months you get, the less it costs per month. So I'd probably go with the 24 month starter package. That'd be a nice plan for you. And you can always upgrade as you go. You can get bigger plans, obviously, and they cost more, like I said, but this is all you're going to need. And it's always better to start small than upgrade as you go. So I want to talk about the site lock security. You don't need that. And I want to talk about Backup Pro. You don't need that either. There's already an automatic backup in Bluehost, which I found works really well. But if you do feel like you do want the extra backup, you could look into paying for that as well. It's probably about $50 for the program. And there's Search Engine Jumpstart or Domain Privacy, and these are completely up to you as well. I don't use them on my own domain, but it's only $10 a year, so it's not bad. Don't want your personal information there. So if someone looks up tommcnulty.net, which is my domain, they can get my name and address. But if you don't want this to be able to go out, you can just buy this, and that would take care of it. Like I said, $10 a month is not much. Fill out the information and sign up, and you'll get it. Once you do all this, and you'll get an email from Bluehost, and it'll give you the information to actually sign into Bluehost. And once you sign in, you're going to be connected to this area called the cPanel. Now, I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Don't really pay attention to all this stuff, all these icons, because it's not stuff you really need to know at all. A lot of people get overwhelmed when they log into the back end here, but there's no point in it because you won't really be using this stuff. And if you're not a techie like me, you just kind of want to stay away from it. Okay, so now we're going to install WordPress on our domain. WordPress is the platform that we're going to use to blog on. And this is a very, very simple step. It's not complicated at all. And you're going to go ahead and click the word website right up here. And then from this screen, you're going to click Use WordPress. Have to wait a minute or two here. No, not that long actually, not too bad. And from here, you're going to click Install. Then once you get to this screen, you're simply going to select your domain. Now remember, we selected the domain earlier in Bluehost, and so it should be right there. In this case, we're going to use the one I selected, cubicleblog.net. And now you're going to click Check Domain. And it goes through, it checks your domain, it sees that it's fine, you can use it. And what you want to do is you want to click the I have read the terms box. And you're going to click Install Now. And we're just going to wait a little bit. You're going to get some options here, but you can just click out of those because we're going to go over the theme later. And as you can see, it's scrolling up top. That'll take a few minutes. Okay, so now that you've installed it, you can get to it from any web browser. Just type in your domain name and hit enter. Boom, there you are. There's your blog. It doesn't look like much right now, but this is your basic this is what your basic website is going to look like out of the box when you install just a blank install version of WordPress. From here, we're going to go to the back end of your dashboard, so that way you can edit everything. Okay, so how do we get to the back end? You should have received an email with your login credentials and a link after you installed Bluehost, and that link will take you straight to the login screen. But if you're already at this point or at any time in the future, the simple way to get to the login screen is just go to the end of your URL and type /wp-admin and hit enter. And this will take you straight to your login screen. And then you just need to enter your username and password. And this will take you straight to your back end. And there it is. Once you get to your back end, it's going to look like this. It's very simple. In the back end, you have where you have your posts. This is where you have your media, your pages, your comments, your marketplace, your appearance, your plugins, your users, your tools, and your settings. We're going to go through this in just a minute, and we're going to go ahead and set up a few things in the back end just to get your site up and running. Switch over to themes right now. Once you're in themes, you'll see that there's a few of these orange or pink icons, and you'll find them all around the screen. I see 3 of them on this screen, and there's also the Help Me button. These are great little tools. When you click on any of the icons, a short video will walk you through that subject. It's very cool. When you click on the Help Me button, like this, you'll see this walkthrough pop up, and you can watch videos on any of these subjects: widgets, menu, comments, media library, users, websites, settings, themes, you name it. And they're nice little videos. They really walk you through how to maybe set this stuff up or how to use these different sections. It's pretty cool, so I would definitely take a look at it. So now we're going to talk about themes for your blog. Now, when I talk about themes, I'm referring to the general look and feeling of your blog, not the content. That will come in another lesson. Now, you can use the free themes, and I'm going to show you those real quick. The free themes are a bit limited, and the one thing you need to know about that code behind the free themes is that it's not all that great, and with a lot of these free themes. And what I mean by that is a lot of the people that design these free themes, the only reason they're designing them and offering them for free is for SEO purposes or search engine optimization purposes. They place their own links in the footers, so it's really for their own benefit. A lot of the times the code is just not that great, and the themes are updated not that regularly. But if I was going to use a free theme, I would use one of the stock WordPress themes. As you can see right here, there's a few stock themes, and they're all based on the year. You have your 2012, 2013, 2014. Your 2014 is a little fancier and a little more decent looking. So if I was going to go with one of the free themes, I'd definitely go with one of these. And I'd use one of these until I had some money to, get into a paid theme. If you're just starting out with your blog and you don't have much money to invest, I would suggest you start out with one of these. However, if you get a premium theme by a really good coder, you will get the updates and the theme will always be up to date. The only 2 that I trust at this point in time are Genesis, which is made by Studio Press, and Thesis, which is made by DIY Teams. They are the only 2 themes that I consistently used over the last few years. My personal blog is currently on Genesis. And the only reason I use these 2 themes is they're highly customizable and they're very user-friendly. Otherwise, I would not be able to use them. Also, they are consistently being updated and improved, and they are the 2 most commonly used WordPress themes out there. So I stick with these 2 only. I don't like the cheaper WordPress themes that are like $20 because a lot of times you get what you pay for. If they don't update them and then WordPress comes up with an update like they always do, your theme won't work, and you want to keep updating WordPress for security and stuff like that. So if you're going to get a premium theme, I would suggest Genesis or Thesis. All right, before I show you how to install a premium theme, I will show you how to install a free theme real quick. First, you go and click on the Add New Theme button down here. And then you want to click on Feature Filter. So from here, you can choose a few different things. Stuff that you might want, like 2 columns, custom menu, and full width template. And then you want to click Apply Filters. And it's going to go out there and pull from all the different themes that are in the free themes database. You can scroll through here and choose whatever you like. But like I said before, some of these developers don't put much thought process into creating these, and I personally would not use them just because of the fact that you don't know if you can trust them or not. Again, it's completely your choice. Me, I say invest in a premium theme. Okay guys, now we're going to go and add a premium theme. We're back on your blog, but you'll notice that it looks a little bit different. I've already installed the Genesis framework to save a little time, because it is the same process as installing the premium theme. When you buy a premium theme, you're going to receive a zip file to download. Save it in a place where you can easily find it. Then all you'll need to do is find that zip file to do the install. Now with Genesis, you actually get two different files. Genesis works on what's called the child theme, which you see here, or the framework. So you got to upload the Genesis framework first, and then once that uploads and installs, you'll need to upload the second file, or the premium theme, which has its own special design. Now Thesis, if you go with that, doesn't have the same setup. You just have to upload one file and you're good to go. Genesis has the Genesis framework, which you see here, and is the basic setup of Genesis. But I always like to get the custom themes, and it doesn't cost much more. So now that you've had a chance to look at the framework, let's install the premium theme. So we're going to go back to Themes, and we're going to click on Add New, and we're going to click on Choose File, and here you see is where I stored my two zip files. We already did the Genesis, so now I'm going to do the 1140, and just double click on that, and here it is, and you just click Install Now, and you can see right here it installed successfully. So we're just going to activate that. Now, the 1140, which we just activated, is the same one that I use on my blog, tommcnulty.net. And then, once you install this, this is just going to add a custom theme, or basically a little different design. Now, we clicked on Activate, so now we want to visit the site. And as you can see, it looks a little bit different. But don't get too worked up, because it's still pretty basic. We're going to go through and customize it a bit and make it look really nice. But as you can see right here, and I'll show you with the little my arrow here, it's mobile responsive, which means you can use it on any type of device. You can use it on an Android, an iPad, an iPhone. So that's cool, whether you're working on your own site or whether you're working on a site for someone else. You'll have a theme that's going to fit all the way around. All right, in this next step, we're actually going to go ahead and customize this and make it look a little bit better. Now, the one thing I'm going to suggest, no matter what niche you're in, I'm going to assume a lot of you that follow me are in the internet marketing or network marketing niche. You're definitely going to want to put a heavy focus on building your email list. Now, one thing you need to understand is that no matter what niche you're in, when your readers come to your blog, and if they decide they're just not interested, or even if they are interested and they like your content, but they leave, and if they don't bookmark it or if they don't save it somewhere, they're never going to come back. They'll forget all about you, and they'll be on to somebody else. And that's why you want to put a heavy focus on building your list or getting people into your email newsletter. Now I'm going to show you how my blog is set up, and you're going to notice you can see similarities on how this blog is set up. It's the same thing. The only difference is I got a custom design, which you can have done later on if you have the money to invest. But you're going to notice I have a custom form, and the one thing I want to tell you is I've built most of my list with an autoresponder called Pure Leverage. I also use Aweber. In this tutorial, just for simplicity's sake, I'm going to use Aweber to put an opt-in form on the side to show you. Pure Leverage is a much cheaper autoresponder to build, and it's got a better affiliate commission system to go along with that. So for the most part now, I'm building my list on Pure Leverage. One reason being, Aweber is known for canning people's emails list if you receive too many spam complaints. It doesn't matter which niche you're in. Sometimes people just have a bad day and hit the spam button, or they forget they even got on your email list and they hit the spam button. Too many of those can get your list deleted. And in this kind of industry, your email list is everything. So me personally, I build my list purely on Pure Leverage. And Aweber is just for certain programs like Squeeze Page Builders. I started out using Aweber, but now Pure Leverage is my main autoresponder and list builder. Now with that being said, I'm going to suggest you have a custom opt-in form made for about $5 on Fiverr.com. Then go ahead and hook up whichever autoresponder you have. I don't prefer using the free opt-in forms like we're getting ready to build. So if you want your site to look a little more professional, it goes a long way to have a custom opt-in form made. As you can see on my sidebar, I have a custom opt-in form right here. And then if we go to another browser, I'll show you my custom pop-up opt-in form. This form automatically pops up the first time a reader comes to my blog. I had these done by designers on Fiverr for cheap money. You can either go to Fiverr.com, Freelancer.com, or Guru.com and have one of these done simply. Then just put the code in and it'll show up on your blog. What we're going to do now is go ahead and build a simple opt-in to go to the right sidebar. There is a link to both Pure Leverage and Aweber below the video. Alright guys, now we're going to go ahead and set it up in Aweber. We're going to set up an opt-in form just because it's simple to set up and it's real quick. And for demonstration purposes, I just wanted to keep this video timed down. First, you're going to sign into your Aweber account and you're going to click on Create a Sign-Up Form. Then you're going to select one of these templates and we'll just go with this first one, Grace. And right from here you select a color, so we'll go with green because that's what I use. And there you get your template right there. And you want to put a headline in there, so she'll just say click to enter bootcamp training. And you want to save that. And then from here you can edit this form in several different ways. You can change these colors. You can change the size and shape of the form. And you can also delete parts of the form. If you don't like them, get rid of them. And then you can save the form. And then you scroll down and you go to step 2, which is where you're going to name the form. I'll just call it blog opt-in. And you can use the basic thank you page. I like to use my own custom page, so you can change it over to custom, and then you can put in your own URL, and then you can save that. And from there you just click on go to step 3. And if you want to click on this first option, I will install my form. And you want to go to the raw HTML version, and you want to select all. This is the code that you're going to copy onto your blog, and so you want to copy that, so I'm just going to do a Control-C. And now I've copied that, and now we're going to go back over to the blog and I'll show you how to install that. Okay. Now what we're going to do is go and type in wp-admin and get to the back end of our website. And we're going to click on widgets. And when we get into the widgets, we're going to go over here to the primary sidebar. Now what I want to let you know is, depending upon the theme you have, some of them are set up differently. Some of them have footers like this one does. So you can put stuff in the footer if you want, and some of them don't have footers. And some of them have a few sidebars, so everything's different, but it's very, very simple. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to go ahead to the primary sidebar and we're going to grab a text widget and we're going to drag and drop it in here. And you see this opens right up. Then we're going to right click and we're going to paste what we took, the code that we took, and then we're going to save it. Then we're going to go ahead and close this once it's saved, and we're going to go to the site and we're going to refresh it. And there you see the opt-in form in the sidebar. Now obviously you just want to adjust the size and stuff like that. And you can always go back to the design and drag and size it and make it bigger or smaller. So you can see how easy it is to start getting your site looking pretty good. You get that opt-in form on there now. Now I'm going to show you how to add a couple more things. Okay, so now we have our opt-in form, and what we want to do is we want to get back into the back end. And we want to go into Appearance and Widgets. And Genesis has this nice feature called the User Profile Widget. And we're going to grab, basically, that's going to tell people a little bit more about you. You can put that in your sidebar. So we're going to drag and drop that right under text. And we're going to scroll down a little bit so we can see the whole form. So under title, we're just going to put our name, Tom McNulty. Your name's Tom McNulty now, by the way. And we're going to choose a user. User profiles can be set up right over here in users, and you can set up profiles right here. But what I'm going to show you now, and this is really going to help your profile stand out, is you want to go into Gravatar. It's a free app, and you want to sign up, and you want to upload a picture of yourself and your email into Gravatar. So then what happens is when someone goes into your site and they leave a comment, and then say you reply to the comment, your picture is going to show up. As you can see, some people don't have it set up so their picture shows up, but see, mine does. And I think where it's your own blog, I think it would look nice if you have your picture show up when you reply back to someone's comment. So yeah, just go to Gravatar and get that set up. It's free and it's really easy. And again, it's another customized feature that makes your blog look really good. Perfect. So then we want to do a custom text. First we want to do the extra large here, and we want to keep it aligned to the left, and we're going to do a custom text. And mine is my name is Tom McNulty. I teach SEO, Facebook marketing, and how to build your brand. Okay, and then we're going to click save. Okay, and then we're going to go back out to our blog, and we're going to hit refresh. And if you scroll down a little bit, there you go. Your user profile has been added. Now I think what I would like to do is I'd like to bring that up over the opt-in. So we go back here and collapse that, and then just click and drag it and put it up over the text box, which is your opt-in form. And then we'll go back to the main form and we'll refresh that again. And there you go. And actually it's looking pretty good. And again, you can play with it as much as you want. You can resize this opt-in form, you can kind of move it over so the edges line up, or whatever you want to do. I mean, I liked it above, you might like it below. Make it any way that works for you, you can set it up that way. So that's a user profile box. All right, well, the next thing we're going to do is talk about social media. We got to get back into our back end now. And let's get some social media icons on this blog. So what we want to do is go ahead and go back into plugins and click on add new. And then we're going to do a search for DigDig. You can see it right here, DigDig. Search for that. And the reason you want to do this is you want to get people to share your content. As you create different content, you want people to go out there and share it. So we want to install this first one by Buffer. Okay, there it is. We now have our social media bar on the side. So when we make a post, it shows up on the blog. This social bar will show on the left side. You can specify so that it scrolls with the page. You can make it so it stays on the left side, or you can move it closer down towards the middle of the page and it stays there. Just play around with the settings and get it just how you like it. Now, as you're going to see, it's very, very simple to customize your blog. Just go to plugins, like we did before, and find the different plugins for the things that you want to install. Now, this is actually how I do it. I look at other people's websites and I see what they're actually using. And then I just figure out what kind of plugins they're using. Just like the social media plugin. Just go out, do a search, and find what you need, and start customizing your site. Now in the next step, we're actually going to go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do posts and pages. And that's the final step. And then you can actually start using your blog. Okay guys, one last thing we're going to go over is posts and pages. This will allow you to start getting some content onto your blog. Now of course, when you get done with this tutorial, I suggest you go through and just start playing around with WordPress and learning how to tweak and make customizations to your blog. Pretty much any person can figure this out. God knows, I'm living proof of that. Let's switch over to our dashboard, to the back end, so we can create posts and pages. So right here you're going to see posts, and right here you're going to see pages. And it's the same process for both posts and pages. Just click add new. And we're going to go ahead and post. But before we continue to this step, I just want to clarify for you what posts and pages are. So we're going to switch back to our blog. Right now we're on the home page of our blog. And when we create a new post, what's going to happen is this existing post right here moves down and it gets replaced. The pages are actually static. They don't actually move. They stay in one place. And usually your pages are going to be linked up here near the top to the logo and the navigation, which we're going to add in a couple minutes. Then sometimes people like to set up links on the side of the specific pages where they want their users to go. So with that being said, let's go back to our post and we'll call it Test Post 1. I've prepared some dummy text just for this tutorial, but first I want to show you that when you first log into the back end, you don't always see all of the customization options. If they are not there, you just want to click on the toolbar toggle icon. And then you'll see the complete menu of icons. Notice here you also have two tabs, visual and text. Make sure to stay away from visual when you're just learning, because if you don't know any type of HTML code, which is the code behind everything, then you really don't want to play around in here. So now we're going to go ahead and make a post. I'm going to go into my notepad and I'm going to copy this text. Now you can also just type it right into the editor if you want. You can edit this just like you would edit any Microsoft Word document. You can add spaces, correct misspellings, just generally make edits. I never just publish a post before checking it out first. I always like to preview it. And you can go right over here and click preview and you can see how it looks, and again it looks pretty cool, so I'm just going to keep that the way it is. Close out of that. I'm going to get back into the new post. Then from here we can also add some media. If you want to add a picture or a video. So I'm going to go into my media library and I'm going to select an image and I'm going to insert that into my post. Now again, I like to preview before I publish. So I'm going to click preview and there's your post. It looks pretty good. And as you can see, the text wraps right around the image. So we'll close out of that. And now if we're satisfied with how our post looks, then we're going to go in and we're going to publish it. The final step. Now that's published, and we're going to go to our WordPress blog and we're going to refresh that. And as you can see, there it is. And the other posts got pushed down just like we thought. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about pages and navigation. So now let's go ahead and create pages and navigation. All right, so we're going to add pages, then we're going to go ahead and set up navigation. So that way we can direct people to the pages that we want them to see. So just to speed up this tutorial a little, I already went ahead and created some dummy pages. So if you want to create pages, it would be the exact same process as adding a post. So what you do is you go and set up content. Create your Contact Us page, create your About Me page, and any other pages you want to link up to navigation. Okay, now that we have a couple pages set up, we're going to click on Appearance and then Menus. Okay, now that we're into menus, we're going to have to set up a menu by default. We can call it whatever we want. I just usually call it Home. And then we want to click on Create Menu. And then from there what we want to do is go over to the sidebar here and we want to click all the ones that we want to add to the menu, add to our navigation. And then we want to click Add to Menu. Now the final step is to go ahead and click Links, and we want to create a Home button. So when people click Home, it takes them to the main page. So we're going to type Home right here, and we're going to switch over to our main site, and we're going to copy the URL, and we're going to go back, and we're going to paste that right in here, and then we're going to click on Add to Menu. So now when people click on the Home button, it takes them back to the main page from anywhere on the site. Now if you want to change navigation, you can just click, drag, and drop these and put them anywhere you want. And finally, we're going to click on the primary navigation box right here, and we're going to click on Save Menu. And at this point, we're pretty much complete. So we're going to go back to Migrate WordPress press blog. That was a mouthful. And we're going to refresh that. And here's your navigation right up here. You can go to your contact us. And right now you see it's empty, but you get the point. This is the page, and you put your information on there. And there's your About Me. And then you click Home, and it takes you back to the main page. And that's how you set up navigation. And there you go. You have a blog. I really hope you got a lot of value from this tutorial. You can click the link below the video to see the next lesson called Reverse Engineering Your Competitors. I'll see you there. All right, guys, thanks. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. This is Tom McNulty, and I'll see you in the next video.